James opened the book, and before he knew it, he was in ancient Egypt. It wasn't just any ancient Egypt, though. This was ancient Egypt with a circus tent full of camels juggling fireballs. Now, James had traveled through time a few times before. You'd think he'd be used to it by now, but honestly, time travel still freaked him out a little. He watched in amazement as a majestic lion balanced a ball on a stick. A group of baboons rode on skateboards, and a crocodile attempted to ride a unicycle. Well, it looked like a crocodile. From this distance, it could have been a dinosaur. It was kind of hard to tell because it was covered in what looked like hundreds of years worth of dirt. "Welcome to the greatest show on earth," a booming voice said. James turned to see Cleopatra standing at the edge of the crowd. "I am putting together the first ever circus to impress the Pharaoh." That doesn't sound very impressive," James said. "We have lions and tigers and crocodiles," she added. Just then, a tiger almost bit off the head of a nearby scribe. Cleopatra sighed. "It's not going well, is it? Look, I want to put on a good show for the Pharaoh, but these animals are more interested in eating each other than performing tricks." She gestured to the lion, who was now batting a ball around with his paw. "And that lion refuses to do anything unless he gets a lifetime supply of roasted chickens." "Well, then get him a lifetime supply of roasted chickens," James suggested. "That shouldn't be too hard. You do have an entire kingdom at your disposal." "I suppose you're right," Cleopatra said with a smile. "Thank you for your help, James." She paused. "Now, how about you come help me wrangle some of these animals?" "Sure," James said, and even though he had no idea what he was doing, he felt like he might actually be able to help. After all, he had wrangled a few chickens in his day. As they made their way through the circus tent, Cleopatra introduced James to the star of the show, a very enthusiastic cat trainer named Bastet. "She's the best in the business," Cleopatra said. "Just don't let her hear you call her a cat lady." Bastet fixed Cleopatra with a withering stare. "I heard you the first time, and I resent that deeply." She turned to James. "So, you want to help out?" "Sure," James said it again. He really didn't know what else to say. Bastet led them to a group of rather unimpressed-looking cats. "Alright, you bunch of lazy cats, listen up," she said. "Today, we have a special guest, so I want you all to put on a good show for Mr. James here." The cats yawned in unison. "Oh, come on, guys. Don't be like that," Bastet said. "We got a front row seat to the chicken sacrifice later. Don't you want to impress the humans? Show them how majestic we are. How terrifying. How graceful." The cats just stared at her. "Oh, fine," Bastet said with a sigh. "Just do whatever." James couldn't believe his luck. All he had to do was make sure those chickens didn't get eaten, and apparently that meant he was now in charge of the most dangerous job in the Egyptian circus. As he watched the cats perform their act, which mostly consisted of walking through hoops and acting aloof, James realized he had a lot to learn about ancient Egypt. Luckily, Bastet was happy to fill him in on all the details. Not only did he learn about pyramids and mummies and sphinxes, but he also learned that cats were considered sacred in ancient Egypt. They were believed to be the embodiment of the goddess Bastet, who represented everything from fertility to motherhood too. Apparently, judging the coolness of your acrobatic skills. By the end of the day, James was exhausted but exhilarated. Not only had he learned a ton about ancient Egypt, but he'd also helped Cleopatra put on a pretty great show. As the sun set over the Nile, James sat down next to Cleopatra on a stone block. "Thank you for helping me today," Cleopatra said. "Your knowledge of, chicken wrangling was invaluable." "No problem," James said with a smile. "I had fun today, but I can't wait to go home and take a nice long bath and maybe read a book." Cleopatra laughed. "Sounds like a great way to spend an evening in ancient Egypt. Just one more thing," she said. "Would you do me a favor and stay for the chicken sacrifice?" James gulped. Sure, why not?" he said. As the smell of roasting chicken filled the air, James knew he was in for a night he would never forget. The next morning, James walked out of the city. into the desert to travel back home using his time-traveling book. And that brings us to the end of the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night, little one.